most of the heavy lifting. Now, here's the honest truth. This isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about becoming a better version of yourself with a system, with a supportive community, and a purpose that amplifies what you will bring to the table. Achievers Club, this isn't about trophies. This is about recognizing the builders, the ones who hear no and turn it into a not yet. And look, when you earn your place at the Achievers Club, all right, it's something else. All right, we're talking about retreats in places that most people only see on their screensavers. Okay, we're talking about real time with our founders, not a quick photo, but actual conversations. And you can't buy that. You can't buy your way into that, all right? You earn it. But what really keeps people coming back is knowing that what you're building is changing lives way beyond your own bank account. Now, talking about credibility, we don't sponsor athletes just to put a logo somewhere, all right? We back stories that mirror what the community is all about. Now, if you look at Chetan Korada, he lost both his legs when he was a toddler. He became a championship-winning professional race car driver without any challenges, because that's what his resilience is all about. His resilience is fantastic. You talk about the Confederation of African Football, uniting a continent through shared ambition. That's about community. Now you look at Manchester City, more than a decade as partners with QNet. So when a club like that chooses you for that long, the world notices. And what is all this meaning for you in your business is that when people see these partnerships, they stop asking, is this real? And they start asking, how does this work? And that's a completely different conversation. So you're not just backed by a logo, you're backed by stories that people believe in. And your job is to take it from there. Now, let's talk about the heartbeat of this whole thing, because this is what really sets QNet apart from every other business opportunity out there in the direct selling space. And it starts with FinGreen. FinGreen is something nobody in this industry likes to talk about. What's the point of earning more if you don't know how to manage it? And entrepreneurship without financial literacy is just gambling. And FinGreen is our answer to that. We are teaching young people, small business professionals, small business owners in communities around the world how to spend wisely, how to save consistently, and of course, build real lasting freedom. So as your business grows, so does the planet. So Green Legacy is one of those things that makes people stop and say, wait, really? Over 15,000 trees and counting across Asia and Africa. Now think about that for a second. Legacy isn't just what you leave to people, it's what you leave for the planet they inherit. Now, here is the true heartbeat of our company, Rhythm Foundation. Rural villages launching micro businesses, clean water flowing to communities that didn't have it. These are futures that are being rewritten, not in some abstract feel-good way, but in a measurable, tangible way that you can actually point to. Raise yourself to help mankind. Again, that's not a slogan that you hear once a year at an event. This is the engine behind every sale you make. And here's what it means in practical terms. You don't give back after you succeed. The impact is built into the business model from day one. That is social enterprise, and that is the difference. So here we are. You've seen the platform, the products, the credibility, the tools, the global reach, and the impact that this business creates every single day. Now it comes down to you. And this isn't about being perfect, okay? Nobody who built something meaningful started when they felt ready. They just started. So the question isn't, can I do this? It's, what could I build if I started today? Can you imagine that? So here's your next step. Talk to the person who brought you here. They're not a salesperson. They're your potential business partner. Choose one product that excites you and take the step. Because the best entrepreneurs don't wait for permission. They start before they feel ready, and they grow into their potential. And along the way, something magical happens. So your launch pad is right here. What will you build on it? And whatever you decide, we're building it with you.
Wow, what an explanation. Thank you, Mr. Trevor. I'm sure that you have a clear understanding now about this industry and how it supports society, and also an amazing real data about how this industry has impacted the world. You always remind us that what makes QNet truly special is our commitment to quality products that improve people's life. And that is really the heart of every successful direct selling company, products that people truly believe in and use every day. Personally, I'm using almost all the products. I drink H every day. I'm using Home Pure Nova and Zane in my house, and also all the Amesqua. And I can honestly say it made a huge difference in my life. And now my parents in their 70s still can do travel without scared of getting a virus or bacteria. And our products are not just things that people buy. Each one represents innovation, passion, and a purpose to help people can have a better life. And people experience real value from a product. They share it naturally to others, to the one that dearly to them. That is how strong communities are built, because we used to share all the good things. And speaking about community, this is where the V comes in. The V is more than just a platform. It's a global community that supports entrepreneurs in their journey. It provides mentorship, guidance, training, and also a strong support system to help people grow, not only in business, but also as leaders. It is a place where people learn from those who have already walked the path, where leaders guide new entrepreneurs, and where everyone works together to help each other succeed. The spirit of mentorship, leadership, and growth is what makes the V truly unique. And today, we will hear from someone who represents the spirit and the leadership. Please join me in welcoming the V, Chief of Business.
In 1996 with a company called V Grupo. That's how the V started. It started building. Into 1998, when QNet was established, we changed to V Team. So V Team was there until 2010. And if you see below the logo, until today, it's always about your. This is the we that everybody knows. This is who we are. We are limitless. So this is why the V was created.
Ever wonder why geese fly in a V? It's not just beautiful, it's brilliant. Each bird flies just above the one in front, reducing air resistance. So no one bird gets too tired. When one goose falls behind, two others stay with it. They honk to encourage each other. Together, they fly 70% farther than alone. Nature reminds us, teamwork isn't just efficient, it's essential. Leadership is shared, support is instinctive. Imagine what we could do if we moved through the world like this.
It's all because of teamwork. It's all because they are together as one. And this is who we are. If you are together as a team, you will achieve much more. And our two lead word guys, of course, I mentioned it earlier, Jabadas Bismarck, and of course, the one and only, our great founder, Dato Sri Vijayeshwaran. Okay, now let me talk a little bit about the V and what we do. As I said earlier, we do trainings. So here are all the trainings that we do. You can see all this beautiful logo. The last one, of course, this is what we are doing, like here. And we have leadership camps, we have We Educate, online events, and of course, we have trainings like V-Lab and V Elite Training. These are all to improve you and for you to climb the ladder in the V. Now, we also do, other than training events, we do world tours, we do everything. We are everywhere, guys. There's so many. None other than V Convention. And to all my brothers and sisters from all around the world, this is an event that you shouldn't miss. Why? Because this is the event that all the greatest networkers, V ambassadors are going to be. So make sure that you are there, because you will see QNet exhibition like never before. You think the World Expo exhibition that is happening around the world is great? You have not seen what QNet does. Their exhibition is mind-blowing. And the people that are going to go on this stage and speak to you, this is where the click happens. Now, I've been talking about V ambassadors. Who are they? The next V ambassador is you. And all you have to do is this. You have to grow in the business. You have to attend our trainings, come to our events, go to ISB. And then you are successful. You start off from there. And then you climb the ladder. And your ultimate goal is to be a V partner. And who are these V partners that I talk about? These are all the V partners that we have right now. These are the main V formation blocks that flies all the time. And they only carry two very important messages. One is to reach 1 billion heart, and the second is rhythm. These are all my flock. And this flock, we are always coming and aligning with the V partners, with our founders, because we take their message to the ground, guys. And these are the V business development who are always out there. Now, after showing you all of this, do you understand that you and I, we are the V? The V is only possible because of you and because of all of us.
Thank you, Mr. Vinu. Wow, that was powerful. I'm sure we can all feel what the V truly stands for. Being part of the V Council, I have personally experienced how the V support us, not just through words, but through real action. And every time I hear about the V, it reminds me of my own journey, how far I've come and how much I've grown with the V beside me. All the V events contribute to each step that brings me to a better version of myself. The share of many top leaders about their life, their business, truly inspiring and showing that we can all change from zero to hero. Again, since we are celebrating Women's Month it is also a great time to recognize the incredible women in the business. Our success story is about one of those inspiring women. She is from India, and before joining the business, she was working in a banking. While also raising twin children, like many mothers, she found herself asking a question many women face at some point of their life. Is it possible to grow professionally without sacrificing the time that matters most of the family? Tonight, we will hear the story of a woman who discovered that this journey is not only about income, but also about who you become along the way. Ladies and gentlemen, let us watch the inspiring journey of Vikansil Sayanti Ghosh.
Before QNet, I was into banking. I started the business, one of my husband's friend, at that time he was just Manish Kumar. I was looking at going back to work, but at the same time, I didn't want to miss the time with the children. So, I was looking for option where I don't have to compromise my personal growth or financial growth and yet have time for my family. So every time we would see a credit card bill or every time we had to turn the price tags, I liked my job. I liked the life before the business also, but I didn't like turning tags and I didn't like looking at the price. And it was always a question that, there has to be something which is better. And jobs are good, but I feel they restrict us to a resume. I felt I can do a lot more than what my resume says. I was looking out for a much bigger opportunity, and that's where the business came in. In this whole journey, I've definitely grown as a individual. Like VP Sachin says, it's not about the earning, but it is the person that you become that's priceless in this whole journey. I do want to leave a legacy of values, because I feel that creating a wealth requires a very strong character, a character which needs to be built and with resilience and with a lot of discipline. And that's the journey I'm on, and that's the legacy that I would like to leave.
Now, are you ready for the most exciting part of tonight's presentation? You've seen our amazing products, you've heard about the support that V provides, and you listen to a real success story. But this is the moment of many of you have been waiting for, the QNet business opportunity. And I know some of you might be wondering right now, what is the real potential of this opportunity? Can this business really change someone's life? Well, our next speaker is someone who can answer that question, not just with the words, but with his own journey. Before discovering this business, he always already on the track for a successful corporate career. He studied law in Delhi and earned his MBA from the prestigious Indian School in Business in Hyderabad. But even with all those achievements, he felt there was something more he wanted, a platform where his growth would not be limited. And when he found this business, everything changed. From struggling to pay 4 EMIs, today he has been living in Dubai for the past 11 years, enjoying a lifestyle he once never imagined before, living in a 6-bedroom mansion and driving cars like Tesla and Rolls-Royce. Amazing, right? But beyond the lifestyle, what truly makes him stand out is the discipline, his hunger to grow, and his passion for helping others to succeed. So if you want to understand the real potential of this opportunity, is the person you definitely want to listen to. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Associate Fee Partner Aditya Bala.
Thank you, Visikala. Thank you so much for your kind words. This is so amazing. I'm truly honored for this opportunity that V has given me. And I feel like a humble contributor to this amazing journey. Now, you guys have already understood the credibility and the strength that QNet has shown in past almost like 27 years, right? The kind of products that we have, the kind of reach and the global presence that we already have, the kind of endorsements that we have. This is mind blowing. So I'll not get into the details of those things. In 15 years back. Okay. So my name is Aditya Bhalla, and I come from a very normal middle class family background, right? My father had a small shop. Okay. So the pain of a small business I had seen from those, so much so that I had decided that I will never do any business. You understand? So I was very clear in my studies. So I did a lot of degrees. I did my company secretaryship. I also have a legal background. I did my management from one of the best institutes. And I was doing well for myself in my job. Okay. I kept growing. I kept getting my promotions. And I worked for around 11 years in different industries, right? Pharma, telecom. And I have no regrets. So I really respect those people who are working hard in their jobs. But you know why I took this plunge? Because even after 11 years of hard work, okay, now imagine, I was already married. My son was already born. And I am so-called, well set in my career, in my life. But deep inside, I was very, very, restless because I had 4 big EMIs on my head, right? And I didn't know what am I not doing right, because whatever I could think of and business, right? So I was desperately looking for some solution, okay? And that's when this opportunity knocked. But why I started on the spot, like I'm sure many of you sitting here, trying to critically examine, understand this opportunity. Let me share, guys, why I started on the spot. And you have to understand, I was in a decent, like middle management position. So time-wise, I was very, very pressed. It was very pressurizing job, right? I was married. So my family responsibilities, and I had, big financial, easy for me, right? But still I jumped on this opportunity, and I would want to share that experience. What made me click? What made me take this decision? Okay. Now, before I get into the understanding of this business, let me share something with you all. And I think this had a very, very deep is. I read this book, The Rich Dad Poor by Robert Kiyosaki. And now, honestly, I could relate with that gentleman. You know why? Because he is somebody who comes from a middle class family, son of a school teacher, and he's today a multi-billionaire, right? And what he explained in that book, that gave me all the answers, that helped me clear that confusion which I had. So what he says, okay, and let me briefly show you. So he says, there are only 4 ways, essentially. These are the only 4 ways in which you can place the entire world population based on how people earn their money. And here we are talking about only ethical, legal, legitimate earning money. The first quadrant is the employee quadrant, right? So month end, fixed salary. And I had lived there for 11 years. I'm sure most of you are in this quadrant, right? Then the second quadrant is the self-employed people, right? So small business owners, professionals who are on their own, freelance consultants, like my father, who had a shop, right? Now, 97% population of the world is in these 2 quadrants. Whereas these remaining 3% people, they control 96% wealth of the world. And this book is an old one, right? Elon Musk was not that rich that time. And people have understood that these 97% you talk of work ethics, you will find, but the wealth creation is here. And that is what we all need to understand. The difference is not in the skills or the knowledge, it is in the mindset. So the way these 97% people think and the way these 3% people think is completely different. Right? So how 3%, just how 97% think, like how I was thinking, then what can I do to earn more money, right? And I was trying to improve that by acquiring more degrees, more experience, more knowledge. But what we don't realize is that our skill, knowledge, time, effort, everything is finite. It is limited. It's like, running on a treadmill. So when you start running, you see the reading, right? The reader shows, you have ran 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers. But if you stop running, what is going to happen? It does not matter how long you have been running. The question is, can you keep running all your life? Even if you're tired, even if you're dying, you better die on the treadmill. Because if you stop running, the reading becomes 0 again. And that's exactly what I was thinking, what I was why? Because employees, definitely, you cannot stop running. The day you stop running, even if you are a CEO of a company, even if you are some, general manager or a vice president, it does not matter. The day you stop running, your salary stops. And even similar for the, small business owner. So I understood from that book that it is not the job. It is about what is the future of my income. So on the contrary, that these 3% people, the mindset that they have is, what can I build? What can I create? So that tomorrow, understand? So there was this major shift. And I understood that till the time I don't create a system, I don't have my income coming from a system, I can never have my peace of mind. I can never be free. Yes, I can earn some money. I can switch from here to here, right? Because these people think they are better and these people think they are better. But the fact of the matter is, it is the, 2 faces of the same coin. So employees, they are running on somebody else's treadmill. And these small business owners, they buy their own treadmill. And the problem is now they have to suffer with the maintenance of the treadmill. Now, why I'm sharing this with you all is because to understand QNet opportunity, you first need to understand the bigger problem that this opportunity is solving in our lives. I realized the biggest problem of my life was this uncertainty about my finances. Whether it is health problem, whether it is relationship problem, whether it is personal, any challenge, ultimately it boils down to money. So I decided to solve that biggest problem of my life. And that's where this opportunity perfectly fit in. So I was very, very sure in my life now that if I want to do something, I must build a system. I must create that, that independence, right? Now, let me explain you how QNet is that perfect system. Now, if you look at any business, and it can be any business on this planet, essentially, it will have two parts, okay? It will have some product or service, because without a valid product or service, there cannot be any business, right? And the second part of any business is how many customers do you have? How big is your customer base? How big is your distribution? How fast you can reach out to the customer? And this is the second piece. Now, unfortunately, 97% people, whenever they think of business, they think of product and service. They think, okay, what can I start? Now, luckily for me, that product and service part is managed by QNet, the 27-year-old giant, almost $1 billion of turnover, right? So they take care of all the operations for me. So as an independent business owner, my pain is outsourced because I'm not involved in any R&D. I'm not involved in, getting the right vendors, right products, shipping, delivery, operations. I'm not taking care of any of those things, which a small businessman has to do all by himself. And 95% pain of the businessman is only to manage the show, the operations. And imagine in our case, that is taken care by the QI group, the QNet, right? So what is our role then? What am I doing? Now, as you know, we are 100% e-commerce company, right? And in e-commerce industry, there are two major challenges. The first, and this is since the inception of this industry, 1998, when the QNet started, right? That was the time when the dot-com boom had also started. And most of the e-commerce companies till date, they struggle with the same challenges. The first problem is, how do you create awareness in the customers? Now, obviously, the known path is to advertise. Like, why do we know Amazon? Why do we know all these big giants, the WhatsApps and the Facebooks of the world? Because they have spent millions and billions of dollars on building their brand. Do you guys know, out of 100 companies, e-commerce companies that start every day, 90 companies can't even cross 1 year? Because the cost of operation, the cost of acquisition is too high. Amazon in India, I come from India, so I know these facts, So Amazon in India took almost 12 years to break even. That means to become zero. So as an individual, I can never play that game. And second challenge is, despite these kind of spends, the conversion is very, very poor. So what QI Group, what QNet decided, that we will not use the traditional path of advertisement, marketing, and all these things. Rather, we will appoint distributors. So I am just a distributor. So I am a distributor, not in the traditional sense. I'm not a distributor for, let's say, a car company or traditional, FMCG company. Because if you are a traditional distributor, you will have to have a huge inventory. You'll have to have a big warehouse. You'll have to have staff, people. Again, the investments are huge. So I'm a distributor, but on an e-commerce platform, right? I'm not a salesman. I'm not an employee, right? And the only way to become a distributor is that I should first be driven to learn. You understand? Because like any other business, you cannot learn anything without investing your time and effort. So today, let's say if you decide to join us, to join hands with your referent, the partner, who has invited you, and you become a distributor today. Company says the operations and all the back end, we take care. But whatever turnover we generate, right? We have a certain formula. So mathematically, you can sit and understand the details, but a portion of that, approximately 8 to 10%, right, comes to you as your commission. Now imagine company is saving 70, 80% of their fixed cost, right? Because they are not advertising, they are not doing all those spends. So majority benefit of that cost saving can go to the customer, right? Like I'll share, when I started this business, I picked up a, QVI Club, one of the, what Trevor was talking about, one of my favorite products. It's a Singapore-based subsidiary that we have. And imagine you going and staying in 4-star, 5-star properties and saving 20, 30% of your cost. That's mind-blowing, right? So the part of that saving goes to the customer, and some part of the same saving comes to me as a distributor, because the customer is there because of me. So instead of wasting money, instead of paying to the Tom Cruises and the Shah Rukh Khans of the world, companies happily paying me a part of that saving. Now, one customer, one transaction can look small. And that's not why I started this business. Unless and until you don't have a long-term vision, unless you're not here for the right reasons to build a solid system for yourself. So next 5 to 10 years, that is the level of commitment that is required to build anything substantial. And imagine in next 5-7 years, not alone, working along with a team of your mentors, your guides, people who are already successful in this business. Imagine if you create a customer base of, let's say, 50,000 or 100,000. Now, all these years, whatever I worked, it's been 15 years now. So all the hard work that I put in, I got paid for it. But the beauty is, after 5 years, after 10 years, when you decide, okay, now I am done. I worked hard enough. Now I want to travel the world, or I want to, do something else. The customer base that you have built, do you think they will stop buying because you are not there? They'll keep buying, right? QNet, which is already 27 years old, right? That company becomes 37 years old. They will have more cross-selling and upselling opportunities. Today, we are just 50 million customers across different countries. It is not even 1% of the population of the world. And our goal is to touch 1 billion hearts. You understand? So while this e-commerce wave is happening, right? While the company is growing, in that space, you create your own customer base of 50,000 or 100,000. Now that critical mass that you have built is your system. That is my system. So this portal, these products and services, this is not my system. This is the company's system. And they have invested millions of dollars, right? But my system is this customer base that I have built over the last 15 years. Now, how do you build that customer base? There are two ways. One, you again keep thinking about that 97% mind. And you say, okay, now I have this amazing products and services. So let me go and sell these products and services. And there is nothing wrong. But the challenge is you are still thinking person-centric. You're still thinking as an individual. Even if you are the best salesperson in the world, can you create 100,000 customer base yourself? It is not possible, practically, humanly not possible. So what happens? You end up becoming a salesman or a salesperson for the world. Now there are already too many salespeople, and people don't like salespeople, right? So what we do, what we need to understand is the bigger picture of the distribution business. E-commerce is about reach, right? It is about how fast you can, expand. So instead of just becoming a customer or just running after customers, if you focus on your learning part, if you go through the books, the videos, those amazing material that the company provides, right? All the trainings that the V provides. If you go through all these things and build the mindset of an entrepreneur, right? Then you understand that I cannot build this alone. Now imagine if I can help somebody, right? So what QNet is telling me essentially is that you don't run after customers. You help me expand our business into every nook and corner. Find me right people. And company says, you help us in identifying those right people. You help us in appointing them as our distributors, and you support them on the ground with your knowledge, your experience, your learning, along with the support of the V, right? So let's say today, if one of you becomes my distributor and I train you, support you, help you, right? Now, of course, in next 3 months, we do some turnover together. Now you get your commission, but for my time and effort, I also have the same commission. And mind you guys, we are amongst the only few companies in the world where the commission is equal. It is not diminishing. You understand? So imagine if you and me share the same profit share, the same commission, then are you my competition? You're not my competition, right? Will I not teach you everything I know about this business? Will I not share all the knowledge, all the mistakes also which I did, right? And that's where it becomes very, very powerful. So now the game is not just running after 100,000 customers. Imagine if in the next 5 years, even if you have 50 good partners with you, which can be in your city, across the globe, in different parts of the world. And that's where e-commerce is so powerful, because QNet allows me to build my business in most of the countries, even without going there, right? So imagine if you have 50 such good distributors, partners that you build over a period of time. Now, it does not stop there, guys. 50 into 50 is 2,500. And 2,500 into 50 is 125,000. Now you can call them customers, distributors. It does not matter. Now, all this business demands from me is to first be a customer. Because we are in this business of, trust. We're in the business of referring. We're in the business of word of mouth. It's like, you go to a restaurant, you have nice meal. What will you do? You will share that experience with your loved ones, correct or not? So we are already doing that. So company says my distributorship is only for people who are actually my customers. Right? But my only spend in the business, guys, was the cost of that vacation package which I purchased. Now think like a businessman. Think like an entrepreneur. This money is not the investment. Is this an investment? So let's say tomorrow, if you go and buy an Apple phone, are you picking shares in Apple? No. Are you becoming an investor? No. It is not an investment. It is a purchase. You're just becoming a customer. And trust me, guys, I have purchased so many things in my life, but none of my purchases gave me any opportunity to earn money or build my business. This was the only purchase of my life which gave me an unlimited potential to grow and build in so many different countries without having the pain of running a business. Now, will everybody understand this? No. Because we are still dealing with those 97% mindset people. But then the question is, will you decide to change that mindset? And trust me, guys, I started this business not because I understood everything on day one. I'm still learning. So you may not understand everything today. But then the real question that you need to ask is, do I really need to build a system in my life? Do I really need to create something, right? People call a lot of things passive income, financial freedom. I am just asking you to introspect and ask yourself, is it okay if you keep running on the treadmill all your life? And the worst part is we don't stop there. While we are tired, while we are dying, we bring our next generation also to run on the same treadmill, because this treadmill cannot stop. So the question is, are you going to change that tonight for yourself? Because I took that decision 15 years back, and I asked these 3 simple questions to myself. Number 1, do I really, really, really need to build a system for myself? And my answer was yes. Absolute clear yes. Can I change my job? Of course I can change my job. Can I start some small business? Of course I can do something. But will any of those things help me create a system? Answer was no. So I understood, if I don't build a system, I will never have my peace of mind. I will never have that, that freedom of mind first. So that was my first question I asked, do I really want to build a system? And answer was yes. Then the second question was, what are my options to build a system? And system means minimum 1,000 people working for you. Now imagine 1,000 people working for you. To pay them salaries, you need $1 million every month. Correct? So for people like you and me, coming from middle-class families, normal backgrounds, yes, if you're already rich, if you're already a millionaire family, You have many options to build a system. But people like you and me coming from middle class families, I did not have any other option. It's like, imagine if in your placement, you get, 3 offer letters. Then you will automatically, you become very selective, correct? What is my role? What is the salary? What is the company? All these things, right? But if you get only one offer letter, then you grab it. So for me, this was that one option to build the system. So I grabbed with all my might. And the only fear that I had was, what if I don't become successful? What if I'm not able to do it, right? I said, what is there to lose? At the end of the day, I have just given myself a chance by buying a world-class, high-quality product, right? Whether it is a water filter, whether it is a handmade Swiss watch, whether it is a vacation package, whether any product, my money's worth is already in my hand on day one. Guys, understand this. So theoretically speaking, my break even is happening on day one. So as an entrepreneur, what is there to lose? The answer is nothing. Nothing. And what is there to gain? It is literally sky's the limit. So when I started, I was in my job. Okay? Remember, 4 EMIs? I cannot leave my job. Right? But I gave myself that chance. And I started working after my office hours. If you know Bombay, a major city in India, I used to travel from Navi Mumbai, one part of the city, to all extremely opposite part of the city, almost 1.5 hours, 2 hours every day after my office. Why I did that? Because I wanted to learn, I wanted to understand. I did not want to go by the opinions of other people, because people say a lot of things about everything, but they don't understand, guys. So I gave myself a chance to learn and see for myself. And you know what was the outcome of that? 9 months, exactly 9 months. So February 2011, I started this business. And November 2011, I resigned. And that was my last job. And I've been building this business since then. Okay? So what is there to lose? Nothing, guys. But you can change your life. Okay? I know I've given you a very broad picture, but I want to leave you all with a visual, guys. And this is the summary of my 15 years of understanding of this business, right? So if you see, what are we doing? Essentially, this is the QNet portal, right? The portal is supplied by all these amazing products and services, whether it is watches, whether it is health, whether it is energy products, whether it is QVI, right? So all these products and services, and the best part is all these products and services are in-house so that the quality is controlled, right? So this is all part of QI Group. So this is the parent company which is supplying all these products and services to QNet portal. Now, what are we doing? So here you come. So let's say this is you. You buy a product. The money is not going in the pocket of the person sitting next to you. The money is going to a legitimate company, 27-year-old credible company, and you buy a product of your choice, right? You pay to the company and company ships you products and services. Right? So it's like any other normal transaction. But the beauty is, once you are a distributor, you have a chance to build this business using your circle of influence, right? So let's say you have 500 or 1,000 people in your circle of influence. Now, are you going to become a salesperson for these people? No. And that is why your learning is so important. Because if you don't understand the mindset to build this business, you will end up pushing only as a salesperson. But imagine if you can identify, let's say from this pool of 500 people, even if you can identify 50 such good business partners, that means you are now multiplied your circle of influence, because every individual has a circle of influence. Can you see what is happening? Guys, this is called exponential growth. This is what Facebook has done. This is what all Amazon has done. This is what trillion-dollar industry looks like. Are you getting? And every individual, right, who is our distributor is by default a customer. So our customer base is by default getting built. You understand? Now imagine if from this pool of, let's say, 100,000 customers or distributors, even if 10% people take this business seriously, that is like 10,000 distributors working with you. That is like running a MNC, running a global company of 10,000 people. Do you understand, guys, what this business, what this opportunity is allowing you to build?
Job and have the right mindset as an entrepreneur, build system that brings freedom, and that QNet business give limitless opportunity. Was not just about convincing anyone It was a talk to the person who invited you. Ask your questions. We would also like to share a few exciting upcoming events. We encourage everyone to join our Sunday of the month. Okay, and please check the banner on your Chief also share for the Rule 3 Club. And you know, it's very exclusive. This year, VCon will take place from June 17 to 21. And it's truly one of the grandest gathering. Thousands of entrepreneurs from around the world will gather in Penang, Malaysia. This is where dream grow bigger. So if you want to experience the true spirit of this business, you want to meet everyone that you see on the screen, please be there. We hope to see all of you in Penang, Malaysia. And we look forward also, again, to see you on the business presentation on April 11, 2026. So make sure next time, bring your friends, your family, and your prospect so they can also discover this amazing opportunity is all about.
Single dream I dream. I knew when we collided, you're the one I have decided who's one of my kind. Hey, soul sister, ain't that Mr. on the radio? Stereo, the way you move ain't fair, you know. Hey, soul sister, I don't wanna miss a single thing you do tonight. Hey, 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 just in time. I'm so glad you have a one-track mind like me. You gave my life direction, a game show love connection we can't deny. I'm so obsessed. My heart is bound to be right out my untrimmed chest. I believe in you like a virgin, you're Madonna, and I'm always gonna wanna blow your mind. Hey, soul sister, ain't that Mr. on the radio? Stereo, the way you move ain't fair, you know. Hey, soul sister, I don't wanna miss a single thing you do tonight. Where you can't cut a rug, watching you is the only drug I need, so get